I know if I asked you guys where the rich and elite reside here in Kenya, most of you will tell me Karen and Runda. But as time goes by, we obviously have to usher in a new generation of millionaires, young CEOs, and new billionaires. And have you ever wondered where these new CEOs in town are actually building their new empires? Well, just a few kilometers off Thika Superhighway, these new CEOs in town seem to have found a new hotspot. And just a quick glance at their neighborhood, they seem to be having quite a very different taste from the old millionaires we are used to in Karen and Runda. Come with me as we explore inside Muthaiga North, Nairobi's well-kept secret for the new 1%.
Welcome to the quieter side of luxury. If you've ever wondered where Nairobi's elite go to escape the noise without actually leaving the city, you found it. This is Muthaiga North. Leaving the hustle of Kiambu Road behind feels like hitting a mute button on the city. As soon as you make that turn, you're greeted by the luxurious countryside villas which are the ultimate welcome mat to Muthaiga North. One thing you can't see through the camera is the air quality. Being right next to Karura Forest and tucked inside a gated community like this, the temperature actually drops a degree or two once you enter. It's the green lung effect. You're living in a forest but with the luxury of a villa. Now guys, I have a question for you guys. Assume I had the keys to both of these two mansions. Assume I had the keys to these two mansions and I give you the option to choose between one of these two mansions. You can't choose two of them, you just have to choose one, and I'll give you the key. Which house are you settling for? Tell me down in the comment section which house you would have settled for. Personally, for me, I will settle for the cream one because I feel like it looks more modern because of the flat roof on it. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but it also has a well-designed balcony to it. For this white one, I don't like it because of the design of the roof. It looks old-fashioned and the white color is also kind of like shouting to me. I just don't like it. This was one of my favorite houses from the whole tour. I know I said I don't like white, but this one wasn't that shouting. And what made me love this house the most was, as you can see, the surrounding in front of it. I was imagining just like waking up in that house, then you have this beautiful view all to yourself in an early morning. I felt like it was in a very good location. And the good news is that there are also zoning laws that govern this area, so you don't have to have the fear of waking up one day to find a 12-story bedsitter blocking your beautiful sunset. It's strictly villas and big boy mansions only. As we continue with our tour, you will realize that there are no open manholes along the sidewalks. I haven't had to jump over a single puddle yet, while in most parts of Nairobi, you will be walking as you try to dodge people and border borders along your way. It is so quiet in this neighborhood that actually the birds are the loudest thing I can hear. Honestly, the birds here sound like they have a better health insurance than I do. They are not just chirping, they seem to be discussing investments. And you'll also see a lot of people jogging here, but it's a different kind of jog. On Kiambu Road, where we started our tour, people are running to catch a bus, while here, it seems like people are running to clear their mind before a Zoom call with Geneva. As I was busy minding my own business recording this video for you guys, as you can see in front of me, I came across this lady who was approaching towards me, and I don't know why most ladies normally have this habit that when they see a man coming towards them, they tend to move on the other side of the road. So I had promised myself that I would mention this on the video just to get a response from the women who will come across this video. Please tell us in the comment section, why do most women have that habit that when they see a man approaching or coming towards them on the roadside, they tend to move to the other side of the road? I was just minding my own business, busy recording this video. I don't know why most women normally have this habit. So please, women who will come across this video, please comment down in the comment section why you guys have that type of habit. After almost an hour of doing a tour around this neighborhood, it came to my attention that there's quite a number of empty pieces of land within this neighborhood, and most of them don't have any signboards showing whether they are public pieces of land or lands that are on sale or not on sale. So it's my assumption like this piece of land over here probably is on sale, but I'm not sure. I'm not a realtor, so I don't know how to identify whether land is on sale or not. But I tend to think that the neighborhood still has the capacity to accommodate some more millionaires who are looking to settle in this neighborhood, and like areas like Karen, where it's very difficult to find an empty piece of land, and if you found one, obviously it would be very expensive due to the scarcity and the demand, because who wouldn't want to settle in Karen if they had the money? And as I also walked through the neighborhood, the silence was starting to be too loud. As you can see along the way, I'm just the only one walking around, and I have never been in agreement with the person who came up with them saying that it is lonely at the top, because honestly guys, we all know when you start getting money, especially big money, that's when everybody wants to be associated with you and be your friend. So it has never made sense to me saying that it's lonely at the top when you have all this money with you. But after just an hour of being in this neighborhood, I started having second thoughts, and honestly a part of me was in agreement with the person who came up with that statement. And by the way, guys, I'm curious to know, would you guys prefer living in such a quiet neighborhood, or do you prefer living in a noisy and lively neighborhood? I would love to know in the comment section. Do you prefer this kind of quiet neighborhood or a noisy and lively neighborhood? Because I know there are people who tend to think that quiet neighborhoods like this tend to be boring, and I know there are some people who find such quiet neighborhoods to be peaceful. So I would like to know, which one are you for, like a quiet neighborhood like this one, or like a noisy and lively neighborhood? Something else to note is that when you find time and come tour this place, you'll realize a lot of vehicles with the red diplomatic plate. As you can see, the white Prado approaching also has a red diplomatic plate, and that's because these are residents to a lot of UN employees, and it's not by coincidence, because Muthaiga North is part of the UN Blue Zone, which basically means that the UN has looked at this neighborhood and confirmed that it is indeed safe enough for their top bosses to sleep in. So when you live in this neighborhood, your neighbor isn't just some guy who works in an office. Your neighbor is probably the ambassador of a country you can't even pronounce, or a CEO who decides the price of milk for the whole nation. So you'll meet quite a number of such vehicles when you come over here. So guys, as I had told you earlier, as you can see on my right is another huge empty piece of land, and as I told you earlier, when you come over here you'll come across quite a number of them, and which still leaves me wondering, because I find it hard to be able to distinguish whether this land is actually on sale, or if it is public land, or if it is not on sale. It's a bit hard to distinguish. So if there's any realtor who will bump into this video, please tell us in the comment section. How is someone able to distinguish whether land is on sale or not? And that connection, guys, let's talk numbers. A quick Google search shows that an acre of land here in Muthaiga North goes for around 70 million shillings, while a piece of land in a place like Ruiru or Kamakis actually goes for 1 million shillings. So do you guys think that it is actually worth it? If someone gave you 150 million shillings, assume I gave you 150 million shillings, would you rather choose to come buy land over here, or would you rather choose to go buy it in a place like Ruiru and Kamakis? You can see that huge amount of land over there. If the land is actually on sale, as I told you earlier, I think there's more space to accommodate more people who want to move into this neighborhood, and there's a lot of perspectives to look at it. Most people will feel like buying land over here is a waste of money because there's no difference, but looking at it from this perspective, leaving aside the fact that yes, it's a peaceful environment, the serenity, the cool breeze and all that, you know the kind of people that actually stay around you, your neighbors, you look at your front door neighbor who is a high court judge or a lawyer, a prominent lawyer, because obviously the type of people who live here, I'm 100% sure some respected people out there, running big businesses and all that. So, and they say that your network is actually your net worth. So living around such kind of people also is also a privilege, because you have people who you can like network with, people who are prominent out there and have some have some lots of connections. It's my hope that you guys enjoyed this mini tour that I took you guys on. I mean, after this tour, most of us, or rather all of us, can agree that there's a certain stillness that you only find here in Muthaiga North. I mean, it's more than just a neighborhood. It's a glimpse into the heritage and the quiet side of Nairobi. And it's easily one of the favorite spots in the city that I'm sure most of us would prefer to have a home in. But in this case, it will depend with how your bank account is looking like. Anyways, thanks for taking this walk with me, and I hope that you guys can comment in the comment section so that I know which neighborhood I should visit next. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, and remember to like and subscribe.